Welcome back, Lions fans, to Lions News Fan Report, your go-to channel for all the latest, most exciting updates on the Detroit Lions and everything going on in the world of sports. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the pride because today, we have a real game-changing rumor to dive into, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Now, we all know the Detroit Lions have been making some noise lately, especially after a season where they finished with a #1 seed in the NFC. But despite that impressive achievement, they were eliminated in the divisional round by the Washington Commanders, leaving a lot of fans wondering, what's next for this team? What are the Lions going to do to take that next step and actually make a deep playoff run in 2024? Well, I got a piece of speculation that could have a huge impact on their defense moving forward. What if I told you the Lions might be actively pursuing DJ Reed, the cornerback who recently had a stellar season with the New York Jets? You might be asking yourself, why would Detroit go after a cornerback? Isn't their secondary already solid? Well, let's break this down because this could be a game-changing move for Detroit. Let's look at everything, why the Lions might want Reed, how he could fit into their system, and what it would mean for the team's future. First off, let's talk about DJ Reed. Over the last couple of seasons, Reed has been quietly proving himself as one of the best cornerbacks in the league. After starting his career with the San Francisco 49ers, he was traded to the New York Jets, and it didn't take long for him to make an impact. Last season, Reed posted a PFF coverage grade of 80.5, which is exceptional considering the level of talent he had to face in the NFC East. But it's not just his ability to defend in coverage, it's his entire skill set. Reed can play in both man-to-man and zone coverage, which is exactly what the Lions need in their secondary. He's fast, he's physical, and he's a technician, which is something Detroit's defense could definitely use. Now, you might be thinking, wait, don't the Lions already have a pretty solid secondary? And to be fair, they do. Players like Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, and Amick Robertson have shown a lot of promise in recent seasons. But let's be honest, while they're talented, Detroit still doesn't have that true shutdown corner, someone who can really lock down a top-tier wide receiver when it matters most. With the Lions needing to contend with some of the best quarterbacks in the NFC, especially in the NFC North, adding a player like Reed could elevate this defense from good to great. Imagine having a defense that can not only pressure the quarterback with a pass rush, but also shut down top-tier wide receivers consistently. That's what Reed could bring to the table. Here's where things get even more interesting. The Lions recently lost Carlton Davis III to the New England Patriots in free agency, and that created a void in their secondary. While they've made moves to fill that gap, like signing DJ Reed, it still feels like they need one more big move to really complete their defense. And the more you think about it, the more it seems like Reed could be the missing piece. But here's the big question. Can the Lions actually make this happen? The financial aspect is a big factor here. Signing a player like DJ Reed is no small investment. He's a top-tier cornerback, and top-tier cornerbacks don't come cheap. So, how could the Lions make room for him? They're going to need to get creative with their cap space, and some reports have suggested that Amick Robertson could be a trade candidate. Robertson, who is in the final year of his contract, has shown flashes of brilliance, but he might not be in Detroit's long-term plans, especially with the development of younger talent like Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. Moving Robertson could free up some space, and that could make it easier to sign Reed. But here's the kicker. Even though moving Robertson would clear some cap space, the question remains, is DJ Reed worth the financial sacrifice? It's a tough call, especially given the Lions' commitment to younger players and the need to balance the books long-term. However, Detroit has shown a willingness to make bold moves in the past, and bringing in a veteran cornerback like Reed could be just what they need to make a deeper playoff push next season. Another thing to consider is what Reed's addition would mean for the Lions' current roster. Adding a player like Reed could really accelerate the growth of the younger players in Detroit's secondary. Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph have the potential to be stars, and learning from a veteran like Reed could help them elevate their games. Reed would not only be a strong on-field contributor, but also a leader in the locker room, helping develop the team's young cornerbacks. Imagine Reed mentoring these players, teaching them the ins and outs of the game, and elevating their play to the next level. That could be a game-changer for the Lions in the coming seasons. So the question remains, should the Lions pull the trigger and bring in DJ Reed? The answer is far from simple. On one hand, Reed would provide immediate help in a key area of need, solidifying the secondary and giving Detroit a real chance to compete with the elite teams in the NFC. On the other hand, making this move would require the Lions to give up some future flexibility and make tough decisions about their current roster. Could Reed be the piece that finally pushes Detroit over the edge into Super Bowl contention? It's a gamble, but it's one that could pay off in a big way if the Lions are truly serious about making a deep playoff run. One thing to think about is the competitive landscape of the NFC. As we've seen, teams like the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles have elite defenses with some of the best secondary play in the league. To compete with those teams, the Lions need to elevate their own defense. DJ Reed could give Detroit that edge. With his ability to match up against some of the top wide receivers, the Lions would be in a much better position to hold their own against high-powered offenses, especially when the playoffs roll around. But to do that, they need to act fast. The competition for top free agents is fierce, and the Lions will need to make sure they have the cap room and the right offers to bring Reed to Detroit. What if the Lions decided to bring in Reed, but also made additional moves to bolster their defense even further? With the right pieces in place, Detroit could become one of the most well-rounded defenses in the league. The pass rush, secondary, and linebacker core would all need to play in sync to become a true defensive powerhouse. Reed could be the final piece of that puzzle, the player who not only improves the Lions' defense but also sets the tone for the future. But here's another wrinkle in the situation: team chemistry. Sometimes bringing in a veteran player, no matter how talented, can disrupt the existing dynamics within a locker room. DJ Reed's presence could shake things up a bit, and it's important to remember that any successful team needs to maintain harmony. Will his leadership and experience mesh well with the younger players, or could it create friction? It's definitely something the Lions will have to carefully consider if they do decide to pursue him. I want to hear from you, Lions fans. What do you think? Should Detroit go after DJ Reed and take the risk, or should they stick with the younger players they've been developing and use the cap space elsewhere? The offseason is just heating up, and there are still a lot of questions to answer, but this potential move could change everything for Detroit's defense in 2024 and beyond. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I can't wait to read your thoughts and get a conversation going about this exciting possibility. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss an update. The offseason is far from over, and we'll be right here keeping you in the loop with all the latest news. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, stay tuned for more Detroit Lions news, right here on Lions News Fan Report. Catch you next time, Lions fans.